Hi. Hi. Welcome to my... I don't know what I'm doing. I have a funny story for you. Today. But for now, I have this. Guess what it is. You'll never guess what it is. Guess what it is. Okay, I'll just tell you. It's a GTI. Exhilarating, I know. You're super excited. You're like, man, this guy's working on another one. It's exciting stuff. Yeah, I know. It's very exciting. So, what we have here is a... Hold on, wait for it. It's a manual. Gotta step on the clutch. That's silly. There it goes. We got a flashing check engine light. Yeah, we should. It's not flashing. There's damage being done to the catalyst. There it goes. That's when check engine light flashes. That means there's damage being done to the catalyst. But the more you know. Insert rainbow. Oh god. So anyways, check engine light flashing now. I have this one. The guy says it's smoking like a sieve. That's just smoking. Yeah, it's smoking and smells like fuel, raw fuel, which usually I did the basics. I checked for smells like raw fuel real bad. Checked the basics, swapped coils. He was thinking head gasket, and I think you're crazy. And he's thinking he's I was thinking he's crazy because, you know, I mean, he doesn't know a lot about cars, so whatever. He guessed, you know, some people said that it could be head gasket, which it would pretty much never be on one of these. Well, unless it overheated when your water pump went out, because the water pumps always go out on these. But swapped coils, did the basic stuff with my VCDS, and I've come to the conclusion that it has a bad injector. Surprise, surprise. These are super notorious for having faulty fuel injectors. They get stuck open, just like the valves get carboned up. The injector tips get carboned up. And they get stuck. Sometimes they get stuck open. And I've seen them, spider webs? What the heck? I've seen them get stuck open and just flood the cylinder and actually seize the engine. I've seen that before with so much gas in there that it just hydrolocks the engine. So, funny story today is, let's get ready for this. So at work today, working on a 204 chassis, which is a C350 between 2010 to 2013. I think it's around 2013-14. So they have steering columns that fail. The locks on the steering columns are electric. And that's where the authorization for this key, blah, 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 nobody cares. So, I have a little trick that I do where I found out on an accident, diagnosing one, to get the key ignition on, because when you turn the key now, nothing happens when that's how you know, that's how we all know it failed. We have like 5 of them. They all just got towed in, I think because it's hot. The heat must kill it. Out here in California, anyways. There's that Nerf gun I was looking for. What was I saying? Right. So, I put this fuse in, blah, blah, blah. I get the ignition on, but the key still doesn't start the car because it technically, I mean, it has drive authorization, but for whatever reason, it won't send the signal to the starter. So what does it do? I pop the fuse box and I have a relay that I have taken apart, so I can just jump the relay, just stick in there and push it. Starts the car. And then depending if the steering lock's broken, unlocked or locked, you can drive the car. And then when you turn it off again, you have to do the same rigmarole all over again. So I was ready to pull it out, and it was in a million pieces because I had a bunch of recalls, so I was doing airbags and stuff like that. And so funny thing is, if you can see, well, it looks broken on here. But I think the pinky is exaggerated. I think it just looks like crap. Ugly ass. Oh man. They're both kind of bent? Yeah, they're both kind of bent. Just when you look. Anyways, you can see a little dingus there. Whatever. Okay. So I hit start. I have the interior torn apart. Well, funny thing is, I left it in drive. And of course, when you hit the start relay, it's just going to start. It's not going to ask if it's in drive because I'm bypassing that essentially. So, car starts moving a little bit, and I'm like, I'm used to cars moving. I was thinking manual, because sometimes when you start a manual, when I'm in the garage, you start a manual, and the friction between whatever, it just kind of moves a little bit and then stops. And I was like, wait a minute, Mercedes doesn't make any manuals. Well, they do, but we never see them. I said, oh shit, it's in drive. So what do? So now it's coming at me while I'm standing on the side. It's coming at me, door's open, so I can't get, because now it's in between the lift by the time I realize this. So it's driving past the post. I slam the door on my finger. It's pretty fat. Good finger, bad finger. Oh yeah, look at that. Good. Fat. It hurts really bad. Close the door. Catch my finger in the door. But it was like bent when I caught it in there, so like I think that saved it a little bit maybe. And I ripped my finger out and I jumped through Superman through the window, slammed it in park. The only thing that died was the fan. There's a fan in front of it. Smashed it. Car's fine. So yeah, I'm an idiot. I've seen that a few times at work, and it was never me. One time it was. I told the guy, I'll just bypass the relay, or bypass it, start it. And it was like, I think it was an older S-Class or something, or an E-Class. He says S-Class, I think it was an E-Class. So, well, what happened, the shift linkage fell off the bottom, so when it's in park up top, but in drive down below. So what happened, when he jumped it, I was staying there, fires it up, does the same shit, starts moving. It's like, oh shit, we're stupid. We grab the car and try holding it. I mean, it's barely moving. You think you can stop it, you can't. It's like 4,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds, whatever that weighs. Coming at you. So we're holding it like idiots. And then I Superman through the window, and it's already in park. Well, nothing to do now but hit the toolbox. So, crash right into the toolbox. And then the third time that I seen it was an older guy. Was working in the shop, same situation, was in park up top, in reverse under. So he has the door open. I don't know what he's doing. It's an older one. I think it's like it was an early 90s, the late 80s. And he does the same thing. Well, I'm standing about behind it in the other adjacent stall, so he's over here, and I'm behind him talking to someone. He fires it up, and he's just hanging out the door like, ah! And you look over, you're like, I think he rolled out of the way maybe, like rolled out from the, ah! He think he tried the same thing. I'm gonna stop this thing. You're not stopping it. You can't stop a car. Put that thing in drive. Go ahead, try to stop it. If you stop it, I'll give you $1. PayPal you. So I just watched the car. Well, here it comes, right at me. Well, I just kind of step out of the way, and it just slams right into a customer's car, into another car. What are you gonna do? Sometimes, bypassing that starter isn't always the answer. My finger is killing me, so now I have to do fuel injectors on this car. I don't know, should I make a time lapse of me doing them? I don't. It's not exciting for me. It's about 90 degrees still. It's hot for us Californians. We're pretty much dying. I know. It's tough out here. It's tough out here for a pimp. So what I'm going to do, rip the intake manifold off, do a carbon cleaning also with my walnut blaster, and get rocking. Cool, thanks for joining me in this chat here. Also, another thing is, I built my fuse box for my, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know. Built my fuse box for my exoset. I hate it. Looks ugly, looks stupid. It's not back. I don't want to go get it. It's so ugly. I don't want to show you. It's essentially just a bunch of relays and those things. I'll show you guys in another video. So I'm going with another one. I think it's a Kinetic Creations or something. And this is what I originally wanted to do, but I thought it was going to be a lot of money to have one built, but it's actually really not that bad. And because I didn't want to buy all the crimpers and find out which crimps I need and blah blah blah. So all I have to do is tell the guy which is controlled by negative and which is positive, what I want to control, how many relays I want, and what blah 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 blah. And he's gonna wire it up in a box, and essentially it's just a one box. It'll be like this, and then I'll have my relays on top, and then the fuses, and then it's all in one. Because the tray that I have is only like 12 inches by, like 12 by 12, or like 12 by 15. It's not very big. And I gotta fit an ECU in there too. So, ECU in there and fuse box right next to each other. Okay, let's get cracking here. So there's number one. Number one's the one that is misfire. You can see, I can see fuel coming out of it. Yep, there's a drip. So that's no good. That one was stuck open, and it's super wet in there. So I don't know, you're actually all kind of wet. It's kind of weird. So you saw me give a thumbs down. Somebody's had this intake manifold off, and they tightened it way too much. So you can kind of see with the bolt that the first one I took off, how much my ratchet kicked. They only get torqued to like 10 Newton meters, so that was way tight. They stripped this hole, but I don't have the stuff to repair it, but he'll be fine because it's right next to the stub. Had leak trace powder here. I mean, everybody knows that if you ever buy a Mark 6, this is going to be leaking and this is going to be leaking. They got to get replaced, especially if you had a failed PCV, which it looks like that's new. So this car's had some work, a good amount of work done to it. Well, obviously not by. So I can see here that they did the water pump and they reused the seal, or forgot a bolt. Yeah, they reused the seal. So I mean, it's had some shoddy work. I don't know if it's done by the dealer. Doesn't look like it. So, what else? This isn't a California car, so there's usually secondary air here. So this isn't a federal car, or, you know, no secondary air. What else? Yeah, yeah, to get your injectors out, if you don't have a slidey tool, you can just go ahead. I have a miniature slide hammer for these that clip on there, and wow, goes face in. If you go ahead and just take these off, if you just start twisting it and pulling it, you can get it out. But you do a crap ton of these. You go ahead and buy this kit. Give you a little slide hammer. I don't know if I caught this. Okay, and then this slides over here. Pretty easy. It's kind of weird. So obviously I went ahead and ordered all 4 injectors. There's no sense in reusing injectors. You can see carbon on the tip of those. Maybe, hold on. The carbon on the tip of these gets pretty bad, and usually gets cold start misfires from those. Now I'm gonna pull these plates out. There's like so much like raw fuel or oil on there. So somebody cleaned them off in an attempt to clean them off. One side is cleaned off. I don't know what's all this gunk in here. That's fuel from the fuel injector. And grab a flashlight and take a gander. Here's a little bit of some carbon cleaning action after. This is just so hard to get on the camera. Focus. Focus. You can kind of see, kind of, whatever. Okay. Yeah, still working at them, but damn it. It's a preliminary cleaning. The media blaster, and then I get in there with the pick, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but my finger's killing me. Oh, hey guys. Yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up, put the new injectors in, and let it rip. Yeah, I gotta clean all this walnut media up, and yeah. go ahead and fire it up. Got the new fuel injectors in, all 4. No programming or anything required. It's not that new. Some injectors have numbers on them. You get to enter in and stuff. Oh man. Finger's killing me. Always runs like Dookie right away. Let's see. A lot of smoke coming out. Uh-oh. How about it's kind of smoke, can't really tell. Yeah, it's coming on pretty good. That's smoke, not steam. That was expected. Kind of smells like fresh motor when oh yeah, it's smoking a bunch now. That clamp is just amazing. Smoking out in there. Well, turns out I really did break my finger. So yeah, kind of sucks. I'm off work now for a little bit. I think I'd rather much not have a broken finger, but it's pretty hot out, so I don't really care. I guess it'd be super hot in the shop. At work, I'm so tired. I had to take all the drugs. I had to take the ibuprofen. I don't know what they gave me, but I don't even know. But I'm gonna edit a video right now, and this will probably be the end of it. So now I can't do anything. I can't. It's too hot. I don't even want to be in the garage anyways, working on stuff. I don't know how the people, the car channels on the other sides of the country, that it's just hot every day and miserable. Ugh, that would suck. Like when I went to Florida, that sucked. All right. Bye.